All right. So, for everybody listening, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and then tell them a little bit about what they can find on your channel?
All right. Uh, I'm stuffed with Cleatus. Name says on there, I'm sure. Uh, I've been on YouTube for, since 2009. Been on there for a while, but I haven't really done anything. So the end of 2019 or December 2019, I decided, okay, I want to do something with YouTube now. So I started really pushing, and at that point, I had 140 subscribers or something like that. Uh, so August of 2021, that's when I hit 1,000 subscribers and was able to actually monetize and everything. So that was pretty nice. But we do a little bit of everything. That's why it's called Stuff with Cleatus and not Cletus's Garage or anything like that. Mostly we do automotive stuff, but we do cooking, we do, vlogs, uh, podcast style live shows. Um, we go to car auctions. Uh, we go to the junkyard. We go, we do a lot of things. I was really wanting to do a bunch of collaborations, right when it started. But if you go back to December 2019, right after that was, the pandemic of 2020. So with that, we had to kind of scale that back, obviously. So we haven't done a lot of that this year. We planned on doing a lot of that. I guess we can get into that a little bit later in the show here, but that's kind of the plans, is to kind of get back into that. A thing I want to do on my channel, and I try to do, is collaborate, even just online, with other automotive or stuff to do with automotive things. And I say that if I got to talk with some guys that were doing cooking and stuff like that too. I'm good with that. I like to cook, and we did some of that on the channel too. So really, just anybody doing YouTube, and doing like-minded stuff. So as far as what we do on the channel, besides all the stuff I just mentioned, when I have a small car dealership, and cars are the hobby. So whenever I go to the auctions, I'll buy something to flip, and it may be something nice and just needs a good cleaning, maybe little stuff here and there, and then I'll flip it and kind of explore that on the channel. We'll go through some of that. But then also sometimes I buy things that need a lot of work. So we go through that on the channel and kind of explain what happened. If I would do it again, with these prices going up on used cars, I'm having to buy older cars or cars with more issues. And then I've got to kind of weigh it out. Is this car, I got to buy it cheap enough, obviously. And then I got to weigh it out. Is this car going to be worth the money after buying it, repairing it, and then listing it for sale? If not, if I buy it cheap enough, obviously, I'll just part it out or, take it straight to the scrapyard.
So, for a day job, you actually have your own car lot, right?
Correct.
Cool.
Yes, sir. It's a pretty small car lot, nothing spectacular or anything, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I just sell to other car dealerships that do buy here, pay here, and then also sell on Facebook some too.
Okay.
I do a lot of trading, and that's something I need to do in my videos, is explain, okay, I started with this car and I traded for this one, I traded for that one. I do quite a bit of trading, but as long as I'm always trading up or trading for multiple cars, I like doing that, because one of them might be junk, but I'll get a few $100s out of that, and then have the other one that's good that I can sell and get more money out of. So
trading,
a bunch of that.
Trading always seems to be easier for me than actually selling. I feel like people are more willing to trade something than buy stuff anymore.
Well, definitely, if they can trade. Now, some people do buy, especially if you can get newer cars. People buy them like crazy. But if you get the older cars, that's when they want to trade. And I'm guessing because older cars are probably not their main car, most likely, and they don't have to drive back and forth every day, so they don't want to put their money into it. They'd rather put something, trade for something.
I think it was back in maybe 04, 05 ish. I bought a 400 EX ATV.
Okay.
I forget what I paid. It was 1400, somewhere right in that price range. And I kept that for a few years, did some trail riding, had fun with it. Traded that for a 92 Katana 600 sport bike. I
Sure.
had that for years. I rode that a long time and then decided I was done with that. Traded that for was it a 90s, early 90s, mid 90s F-150? I think it was a
So that was
98. So it was a little
so
bit
that was
later.
after the brick nose. That's the one they call OBS.
Okay.
OBS Ford. Yeah.
Yep. So I think it was about a 98. And that ended up having a blown head gasket, which I poured head gasket and sealer in every winter. And it drove fine. Never, never had an issue.
Oh, actually, the 98, that would be the 97 to 03 body style, right?
Yeah.
The kind
Yep.
of rounded one. Okay. Okay. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
And then I ended up trading that for what was it? It was a 300. It was a Ninja 300 sport bike. And that had been dropped. And I was just looking for something to build a go kart out of. Didn't end up building the go kart. Ended up trading that for a turbo kit, and
Wow.
then ended up selling that. That was probably only about a year or two ago, and I got $500 out of that. So started with, I think it was 1400 in like '04, and I bet you a solid, what, even if we said 2000, you're talking almost 15 years. And I
For
ended up
sure.
getting $500 out of what I sold, and everything in between was all traded.
Yeah. So you get to mess with everything in between too, have your fun out of it. So
Right. Yep. So I enjoy trading just as much.
sure, for sure. Yeah. It's sometimes you get some good stuff and sometimes you don't. So
Right. So
you
you
gotta take
said
that gamble.
yeah, you said you started YouTube back in about 2009.
Yes. So 2009, I was just had got out of the military and I became an instructor um, for a company that works with the military. So I was doing instructor work for the military, and I had to come up with a class. So they wanted to see a PowerPoint that I put together real quick or whatever, within like I think like 15 minutes to put PowerPoint together. So I did that, and that was my first video. Uh, it was a little not great, but right now it's for members only. But I think it still has like 72,000 views or something. So
Oh wow.
it did pretty good.
So that was the whole reason you started YouTube, was to do that originally.
Correct. Well, I had it, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything else with this. I'll put it out here. It's kind of funny, it's like how to do a burnout PowerPoint. So it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't great, but it was funny. So I said I'll put it out here. It's before people, really thought about what YouTube could be, and even 2014, 2015, and stuff. YouTube were still for on the automotive side was more of how to. I mean, of course, you had the douche tubers that were like, big back then, the Paul brothers and Mr. Beast and all that stuff. That's just trying to get reactions out of people. Um, but as far as the automotive content, the true content, not just how tos, it probably picked up, I'm going to say around 2016, 2017, where people were actually making content that was entertainment for automotive field.
So did you post in between '09 until you really picked up, or was it just kind of
I
hit or
mean,
miss?
here and there, maybe once a year, sometimes twice a year. Not really.
Okay. And then what made you decide to really get back into it and start pursuing it again?
Well, the biggest thing is I was going to all these auctions and I was doing more stuff for the cars. So I'm like, you know what? I like the automotive content. I said, I'm always doing something. Why not? Let's record it and see what it does. And then I decided to get serious about it because of that. But then also because I wanted to meet or collaborate with other automotive YouTubers.
Okay, cool. I think that's probably one of my favorite things about doing the YouTube so far, is just all the people that I've met. And, I'm
Sure.
not even sure how we met, but I'm pretty sure it's going through the different live streams. And
It
we've
could have
got
been on
this like,
Facebook. It could have been on the live streams. I'm always out there somewhere. And like I said, my goal was to meet and collaborate with other YouTubers. So
yeah. And we've got something coming up here we'll talk about in a little bit. But before we get to that, some of the vehicles that I know you have had, and I'm sure you've had tons more. I know you've
oh, yeah.
got the El Camino, right?
Yeah, still have it. I'm trying to get rid of it right now, but I don't want to
Okay.
do any more work to it. That's my problem. So
Yeah. And I was on one live stream with 113 Cycles the other day, and I saw it sitting over there. He's
sure.
doing
Yeah.
some work
We
on
were
it.
rebuilding the carburetor. Yep.
Yep. And then do you still have the 1500 OBS truck, or did you flip that one already?
I've had a few of them. So if you're talking about the 88, the old one that I totally redone everything on is gone.
Okay.
If you're talking about the one that was lowered,
Yep, that was the one I was
okay,
thinking of.
that one's gone. And I'll kind of go through the trade a little bit. I traded that for a 89 OBS extended cab dually with a 454 and a 98 extended cab 2500. That's the one we're going to pull the transmission out of for the other thing we're talking about shortly. And then also a 5.3 liter LS with a transmission.
Okay.
I sold the dually already. So, and then I've got the other truck sold pretty much, but I'm going to get the transmission out of it first. And then I've already got the 5.3 liter LS and transmission sold kind of too. So,
okay. And then I know you had the C30, but you just sold that too as well, right?
I traded that. I was just never going to get back to it. I would love to do it. I just knew I was there because it wasn't at the house. It's out at the car lot, which, it's not at the house. So I could travel out there. I just knew I wasn't going to get back to it. So I traded it for a 1998 Suburban, which I thought was a great trade. 4-wheel drive, V8, ran great. But after driving about 42 miles, I got off the interstate less than a mile from the house here and heard a big pop. And oh no. And it wouldn't go anywhere. It would, just rev up when you hit the gas. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to guess it's a U-joint. The driveline didn't fall, of course, but I'm going to guess it's a U-joint. But no, it's the 4L60. Transmission's gone. So I'll probably just sell it like it is.
Gotcha. So what do you have for vehicles currently then? What do you drive?
Oh boy. Well, the wife we just drive her vehicle mostly, but I'll drive whatever I'm selling, whatever I pick up to sell. But the wife has a 08 Hyundai, excuse me, a Toyota Highlander hybrid.
Okay.
It's a hybrid, but it's cool. It's nice. It's got a bunch of miles on it, but you'd never know it. And then I've got 79 F-150, 79 F-150 custom. And I've almost got that one ready. The videos will be coming out on it soon. I've got it running great. I had to replace the whole fuel system, front to back. I've got it mostly electrical replaced. And then after that, it's just going to be cleaning it up, replacing some interior stuff, door panels, things like that. I've already put new wheels and tires on it. I've got to do the brakes. And then it'll be ready to roll. It's a nice truck. It's straight. It's an Arkansas truck, a tow life, no rust or anything at all. So hopefully that one will do pretty good for me. We'll see.
Is that something you're going to keep, or are you selling that too?
I'm selling everything. Except for the build we're going to talk about shortly. I sell everything. And in that one, I'm not going to sell or not plan to sell. But if somebody offers me a certain amount of money, of course, I'd sell it. No, I plan to. I sell everything. Also have, like I said, the El Camino right now. I've got a 06 Jeep Wrangler, and they're junk. I would never probably buy another one of them. I've got 2002 Toyota Sequoia. I think I sold everything else.
Okay. So you don't have anything that other than this build that we're going to talk about, that you really plan on keeping?
No. I've got to find something for my son, and my daughter has her car. My wife has her car, but as far as my car, I don't have one.
Okay.
I'm always riding whatever I buy.
Hey, I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that. It works too.
Sure, sure.
It's kind of leasing them until they're gone, right?
Well, I've always, liked to be in a different vehicle. I've never had a vehicle that I just wanted to keep. Now, if I could go back and get my first car back, I'd love to buy it. And it's nothing special, but I like it. And if I could find one, I know I'll probably won't ever find my first car, but if I could find one, I'd probably be interested in getting it. So,
And what was that?
1975 Chevy Nova, 4-door with a straight six.
So we just picked up one for my dad, and I believe it's a 1978
Same body
four-door
style. Yep.
with a straight six.
Nice. You want to trade for an El Camino?
Nope, he was a Nova person his whole life too. I remember growing up, he had different body styles. He had that late 70s body style. He had the early 70s body
Yep.
style, and we just happened to come across this one not too far from the house, and
Sure.
I went and picked it up with him. I'm gonna do some videos on that with him this year. Last year we were gonna try to get working on it, and I just got busy. So this spring we're gonna pull it out. It ran when we got it, but he's been fixing some things. So
LS
hopefully,
swap?
no, not right away. I mean,
No.
eventually I think it'd be cool to do for him, but right now I just want to get it
That is
driving so
definitely
that
what I would do if I had one again. Because I like the style, and I know most people say it's a 4-door, it's a ugly Nova. I didn't much care for the Nova 2s,
yeah,
and I didn't care, of course, for the ones in the 80s that looked like the Corolla. I didn't like that at all. But
right. Those weren't
uh,
really Novas.
the early 70s is cool, but the thing I like is 75 to 78.
Yep. Yep. So hopefully we can get it running for him. I just want him to be able to drive it, take it
Sure.
to car shows, cruise around town, and if I ever get a shop or something, then maybe we'll go down that path. But cool. So I suppose we'll get into this build that we've been kind of leading up to. I know we've brought it up a little bit. I know Wasted talked a little bit about it on the last podcast I did with him.
Sure.
But we are going to do a group build here in what, just about a month, a little over a month. How did you no, you're good. How did you come up with this idea, and how did it all kind of get started?
I'm gonna go grab a drink of water real quick. Be right back.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yep, you're good. Oh, you're good. I always have to have something with me because I know how it
What
is
I
once you
should
start
have,
talking.
one thing about the weather getting nice in here in Arkansas is, the allergies go crazy. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a lot of allergy stuff, especially here.
Mhm.
Mine's usually later in the fall though, until winter kicks is when I get hit.
Got you. Going back to your question here, why did this build or idea come about? It's just doing live streams through YouTube, man. Talking with other automotive YouTubers. We were on Dudes with Wrenches. We were on a live stream with him, and he was talking about his next project. So he had a list of all the cars and pictures of all the cars that he could do something with. And that Volvo came around, and nobody voted for it besides Wasted Talent and myself. I said, no, you should do that. He wasn't interested. Nobody else was besides Wasted and I. And I said, the Wasted or maybe one of us said something about we should build that together. And I'm like, hey, let's do it. So since then, we've been talking about it and just kind of been coming together on when and where and why and how. We said, well, let's put an LS in it. Let's LS swap a Volvo wagon. That'd be cool. So it's the big collaboration event we've been planning since November-ish now. We've been doing a lot of talking about it, a lot of planning, and now it's even with all the mishaps, it's coming back, and it's going to happen. So at first it was going to be in Iowa, and there was going to be 15 channels or something like that involved directly. I mean, other channels as well, but directly involved. Then it kind of narrowed down a little bit and said, okay, there's going to be 12 of us. Then there's 10 of us. Then it went down to 9 and then back up. And it's been here and there. Then it got canceled and was going to be, or not canceled, I'm sorry. The shop wasn't going to work out. So he's going to go to a different shop. That shop didn't work. So we're going to a different shop. And then that shop didn't work. So we are now in Central Arkansas. And we have the engine. We have the transmission. We have the harness ordered. We got a list of parts to order. So from here on out, everything should run smooth, but we still have backup plans for the harness if it doesn't work out, and things like that.
So the actual Volvo itself is coming from Dudes with Wrenches, right?
Dudes with Wrenches, yep, is one that he got. I guess he pretty much got it for free because the transmission wasn't working right in it. The engine was still good, I guess, but he went ahead and pulled the engine transmission, and he's going to pull it down for the second week of April when all this starts. And I'll have the engine transmission pulled and ready to go there. So we're all going to come together, try to do this within 3 to 5 days. It's pretty big undertaking.
Yep. So he's coming from Iowa.
Yes. Western, I don't say Northwest, Midwest Iowa.
Okay. So he's bringing that, and then everybody is meeting at 113 Cycles, and that's where we're actually doing this build. And
correct.
It's going to be
his new shop he built this last year.
Yep. And it's going to be what, April 11th through the 16th is what we're trying, or 15th.
Correct. Yes, sir.
And then the plan would be
we're going to start building April 11th. Go ahead, I'm sorry. We're going to start at April 11th and try to have it finished that Saturday to do some kind of small car show. And then Sunday, go up and see another YouTuber in Northern Arkansas.
Yeah.
Customs.
Yep. So originally the plan was to do it in Iowa, and then you were going to drive it back to Arkansas. So that was going to be kind of a cool, almost like a roadkill style. Right?
Yeah. And that's kind of why we're going up to Northern Arkansas. The plan is to go up to Northern Arkansas and say, okay, we put it together in 3 to 5 days. Let's see if we can drive it 100 miles,
Yep. So I think the new plan is, right, we're going to still build it the 11th. Saturday, there's Cars and Coffee in Little Rock, I think they said.
It's, right at 20 minutes from here. Not too bad, almost 30 minutes, but yeah.
So the plan would be to take it there, kind of hang out there with everybody, and then
see if we can get some reactions out of it. Just kind of put it out there. Yeah. Nothing crazy.
And then Sunday, like you said, drive up to Narx's place, hang out there, and then from there, everybody will kind of
disperse and go home. Yeah.
So there's what, eight to 10 channels right now, I think, kind of planned.
So I'll have to go back and look at the exact list, but I know there's 9 right this second.
Okay.
We have one sponsor so far. We have 2 that might still work out, but one sponsor, his name is Bubba Ayers. He's a YouTube channel as well.
Okay.
So that was, huge. That was big of him to help out financially. Not with just, there's plenty of people who support it. Then sharing out the information, trying to get everybody to, talk about it and all that. And I'm sure when it comes down to the actual build, they'll that way as well. But Bubba Ayers actually took it a step beyond that. And sent monetary or money, so that was freaking awesome.
So we got what the Volvo is a 96, 97. What year is it?
Yes, sir. It's a 1996 Volvo 960 wagon, and it is the estate or something like that. It's the highest version of it. So
okay,
it has sunroof, heated seats, leather seats. At the time, whatever the highest stereo was and all that. So, and nobody seems to want to talk about the stereo. I don't know why. I think it's gonna be awesome. I've got a touchscreen radio that's going in, a real nice one. Subwoofers, all the speakers getting replaced and everything. It's gonna be pretty nice. In the future, I also want to put airbags on it and some different wheels and stuff. I still want it to appear to be a sleeper, but I still want to make it custom. Everything I have, I want that I keep anyway, which isn't anything right now. But when I do have something I keep want to drive, I want to change as much as I can to make it custom.
Yep.
And still
So,
look nice. I don't want something to look trashy, you know.
right. So then the plan is LS swap, 4L ADE,
Yes, sir.
Terminator X.
Yep. Yeah. We'll have to get the drive line done here, obviously, because that's where the build's going to be. So the biggest plan with that is I know what transmission is going to be, the 480 two-wheel drive and the Volvo rear end we're going to be able to use. So hopefully I could take that information to the shop and they'll have what they need ready to go. So when we get the measurements, they can build the drive shaft pretty quick.
And that'll probably be one of the only time constraints that we'll be waiting on, right? Everything
I
else,
would think so. Everything else should be there waiting on us.
because Wasted's bringing all his tools
Yep.
and he's got welders, so we're gonna do motor mounts and everything as soon as we get it dropped in. So yeah, I think that would be just the one thing that will.
Well, the harness is on back order as well,
Okay.
but we're supposed to have it at least a week or two, almost 3 weeks before the build.
Okay.
If we do not, our backup plan is we'll still have the original harness. That's our last resort, is to build that one out. But the backup plan would be to get on Amazon and order one that's already fabbed up and already programmed and everything with a computer. They ship it right to you within 2 to 3 days, and it's supposed to be plug and play.
Okay.
We wanted to go Terminator X because it's supposed to be the fastest, the easiest as far as swapping. And also, if we wanted to add things later, we would like to go EA5. I know Waste is trying to get me to put a turbo on it. Maybe later. I'm not interested right now, but
yeah. And the thing is if we're gonna get it done in that week time frame, we can't do all of that right now. The plan is basically we got 5-ish days to get it from shell to running and driving LS swap.
Correct. It's going to be a roller, which is good. It saves us time there. It's going to be a roller. The tires are already going to be on it because we got new tires for it. We'll probably have to do brakes, but that's not big. If we don't, I could do that later. The biggest thing is getting the engine and transmission in, and then everything wired up, working together.
Yep. And since the drive shaft will be kind of the focal point, I assume we're gonna go ahead and try to get that motor trans in mounted first thing Monday.
Correct. That is the first goal, or the first thing we want to do, is to get it sitting in there. It doesn't even have to be, mounted. Just get it sitting in there, get their measurement, and get it sent off.
Yep.
And I've already got there's 2 transmission shops around here that will probably be able to do it. This week we're going to secure the information and reach out to them and see which one will be able to do it quickly. We're going to tell them what's going on, tell them how quick we need it, and if I need to get the the U joints or whatever that they need to them to be waiting on us, then I can do that. So they may already have an idea what to do as well. I don't know.
Okay. And then for sponsors, you said you got Bubba. And then Are there any others that are confirmed yet? Or are they all still?
None are confirmed. We have 2 that are very interested, but I haven't heard anything back. So I need to reach back out to them and see if they're going to do anything. So it may just be, myself and Bubba Ayers. Everybody else is paying for their trip to get here. But as far as the expense of the vehicle and repairs or the swap, it's myself. So
okay,
because it's going to be my car at the end of the day.
Yeah, right.
Even though we'll be going to events and we're going to be, we go to these events, it's going to be a team build, and I'm not going to say this is my car. This is this is the team's car that we built. So when we go to events, especially if we are able to meet up at the events, it's not going to be just my channel saying we built it. It's going to be, hey, I plan to have some kind of, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do a board or or some kind of display that I could set up so everybody can see all the channel stickers or whatever. Just pull out whenever I go to the event and set it up for everybody to see.
Yep. And that's going to be pretty cool too. I think the farthest person traveling is Mongrels.
Correct. From Midwest Canada.
Yeah, so that's quite a trip.
Yeah, it's a big trip, and I think he's still going to be driving it. He thought about flying. I think he's decided he's going to drive. And with the fuel prices the way they are, they're going to be cheap.
Yeah, yeah, I'm planning on driving as well. I think it's going to be 10 hours for me.
Yeah.
I think right now I'm still working out plans, and I know we talked about Airbnbs and stuff, but I think
Yep.
right now my plan is still to try to head down Sunday. That
Mm-hmm.
way I can be there when we start on Monday. And then we'll just, my plan
Yeah,
is
I think
kind of,
everybody's planning to be here on Sunday.
yep. And I think my plan is just to kind of see how it plays out, and if we're there the whole week, we're there the whole week, and if we're not, we're not. I'm just gonna kind of leave it as an open schedule, I think.
Well, that's the cool thing about driving, I guess, is when you're done, you're done.
Yep.
Hopefully, it will smooth, and we'll have it done in 3 days, and then the rest of the time's just adding on stuff or playing with it or going to the car shows or visiting other YouTubers or whatever it may be.
Yep. Yep. And so we'll be doing plenty of recording. There's going to be plenty of channels. We'll have content across many channels. We'll have live streams, probably multiple live streams, multiple days.
For sure.
Uh,
Certainly. And probably, I would think we'll do at least 3 live streams, depending on how the timing works out. We'll do 2 to 3 live streams per day on different channels. So,
yep. And some of it's probably going to be just camera mounted, watching us work.
sure.
Maybe towards the end of the night, we'll actually have some more live streams where we're actually talking and stuff like that. But
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there will be the problem with where we had to end up. I mean, it's 113 shop is beautiful and everything. Don't get me wrong, but there is going to be a quiet time. It is in the city, so at a certain time we'll have to kind of shut down, and that's when we can go to the Airbnb or just hang around in his shop and do live streams and hang out and drink and eat or whatever we want to do.
yep, because we can give updates on where we're at for the day and
Yep.
plans for the next day. And I think the entire concept of it's extremely cool. Getting everybody together, it's going to help everybody's channel. It's going
Sure.
to get a chance for all of us to meet each other other than just on, these live
On
streams that
screen.
we
Sure.
do. Yep. The only one I've met is Narcs in person because him and I went to Cleatus in cars. Otherwise, everybody else has just met through the live streams.
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously met 113. He's luckily that he lives not too far from me. Big Block 402. I've also met him. So you would think I'd met Narcs by now, because he doesn't live that far from me.
Yeah.
Same thing with Just Mopar Joe. He lives like 40 minutes from me, but I still haven't met him. So
Yep. But this is the perfect time because we're coming together for this build, and I think Wasted and I talked a little bit about it, and this could be something that we could do going forward. This could be like an annual
correct.
thing where,
Yeah, decide who's going to pay for the build, whose bills are going to be this year. And we all go to that person, let them kind of set where it's going to be, or we can all set where it's going to be and all meet up again. I'll go back to the build for a second. So people have already put LSs and Volvos. We're not the first people to do it. Definitely
right.
not. But as far as I know, as far as I'm aware, we are going to be the first group of YouTubers to meet up and build something this quick all together, especially an LS and a Volvo, something that's not meant to go together.
Right. The only
So
thing that I can think of that's similar is like the 10K shootout thing that they had done, and that was only like 4 teams. It wasn't really like a group build. It kind of there had like 4 or 5 guys, but that was like more of a competition. But that's kind of the only thing that I can describe that would be similar to what we're doing.
when we're all, unless Outlaw Edge is able to make it, which he may or may not be, the rest of our channels are smaller right now. We're all growing. We're all a pretty fresh start at everything on YouTube. We have a couple thousand viewers for some people. We have 3,000 for some people, in the hundreds for some people, and it's a little all over the board. But we're all coming together. Everybody's hopefully building each other's channels up, and it's gonna be a great event.
Yeah, I think here in the next few weeks, we really need to start kind of hyping it up and
Yeah.
getting people ready for it. I started typing something up that I'm gonna end up sending to you once I get a little closer, that I think will be kind of cool way to kind of kick
Well,
off a
and
promotion or
I'll
something.
have a my wife makes thumbnails and stuff. I'll have her make a couple of thumbnails, for everybody that's involved, that I can kind of share out to you guys to share to all your social medias, and to build up the hype, like you said. The merch site's up and running. I have a couple more shirt ideas. Excuse me. I have a couple more shirt ideas that I want to finalize, that we can all have something like that.
Yeah, and I think that'll be cool too, as like a little a piece when we're all done. We, just having that T-shirt that we all participated in this group build. And yeah, I like I said, just the whole concept of it, I think is really cool, and hopefully it takes off and it's something that people like to see and people want to see more of, and
Well,
maybe we don't even.
especially if it takes off, we would definitely want to do it again next year.
Yeah,
And it may be your build next year. We may say, hey, we're going to get a BMW and put LS in it, or we're going to get a Mazda Miata and put a Honda engine in there, or whatever it may be. Something is challenging, but also something we could all meet up again and do something fun.
right, and still keep it within that week time frame. We don't want to make
I would think
something
so.
that's.
I wouldn't think. I would think 7 days max. I mean, I think we could do it as long as we planned it out and get everything situated like we did this time. So
Yep.
It's a lot of behind the scenes planning, and even a lot of on screen planning. We do it on the lives all the time. We've been talking about it so long. In the last garage we were talking about, when it fell through, the guy was like, well, we might want to cancel it. And I'm like, no, we've been talking about it this long. It's going to happen. And we have to do it in my driveway. It's going to happen.
Right. And there, I mean, yeah, a garage is nice, a lift is nice, but
Sure.
at the end of the day, where you guys are, weather isn't going to be as much of an issue
Yeah.
as it would have been
Rain,
before.
maybe, but that's it. I mean, it's going to be beautiful. Beautiful that time of year here.
Yep. And I'm excited just because I've never been there. So for me, it's a new place I haven't been. It's hanging out with a group of people that have the same interests, and we're throwing an LS in something. So for me, it's
going to be
great.
something that it's not supposed to be in at all. So
Right.
it's going to be, even if you put a Ford motor in, it's like, I think Ford owned Volvo or partnered with Volvo them years anyway. But this is total different companies, like never had involvement with each other. So
yeah. Yep. So that's extremely exciting. Hopefully, all the channels still are able to make it once we get a little bit closer. I know there's always last minute things.
It's coming up pretty quick.
But yeah, we've got today is what, the 6th?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so about 5 weeks.
Yeah, thereabouts. It's coming up quick. Quick.
So the other thing that I was going to bring up is something that I personally don't know too much about. I've heard a little bit about it, and I was jumping in a live stream the other night, and I'm pretty sure you're a little more familiar with it than me, but it is the No Name Nationals.
Yeah, and I actually technically don't have any skin in the game there, but as soon as I heard about it and met John Wilbur and all that stuff, it started going over it, I hit the ground running, because it is going to be awesome for automotive YouTubers. So in order to be in this event, to actually participate, not to visit, anybody can visit, anybody can spectate. It's $15 or $20 at the gate. Anybody can come. But to participate in the drag race, the burnout competition, the mini bike, whatever they're, Coleman bikes or something racing, or in the show itself, they were going to have a pretty nice car show going on. You have to have 500 subscribers or more on YouTube, and then also pay the entry fee and everything, which is pretty low for looking at all these other YouTube events. It's only $75, which covers your car for all the racing that you want. All that, if you want to do all that stuff for one of the things, and then also your entry. So
That is September 30th through October 1st
Yes, sir. It's Sikeston, Missouri,
in Sikeston, Missouri. Okay.
which is, it's not too far for me. It's, 4 hours, I think. So I'm lucky it's close too, but the Volvo will be there. I've already bought the ticket. I already got the spot. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost certain Wasted's going to be there. It's going to be a group. It's going to be a great opportunity for not everybody only to grow their channels, but also to get together and collab and bounce ideas off each other and see each other's work, see each other's the way we record things. Just it's going to be great to get everybody together.
Yeah, and it's just another opportunity for channels to, like you said, collab with other channels. And
Right.
I think that's something, like you mentioned, that we've been talking about for a couple of years, but then with the pandemic, that kind of pushed everything back. And now I think we're finally able to kind of start doing some more of this. And I'm excited because I'm still relatively small. My goal is to be at 900 by the time we come down for the Volvo build. So
Okay.
we're at 781, 782 this morning. So within 5 weeks, I think if I keep at my pace that I've been going at, we should be right around 900 when we come down. So,
well, and if one thing hits that you're doing or that you've already done, you'll surpass that goal.
yeah.
You just never know. And I wish I could tell you this is what works, but my channel's still pretty small too. So I don't know.
Yeah. And you had a pretty big goal for this year too, as well, don't you?
I do. It's not looking great so far, but to be fair, the first pretty much 2 months, I didn't really put anything out or push anything. But the goal for the year is 5,000 subscribers. Right now, I'm at like 1,700, something like that, somewhere around there. So it's a pretty big goal. But not only do we have the Volvo build, which is going to be shared across the channels, it's going to be an event itself and a build for people to follow, but also I'm going to be doing the No Name Nationals. I'm doing at least the first day of the Hot Rod Power Tour, maybe Super Chevy, and probably, well, I'll still go maybe on LS Fest, and then all the car shows around here that I'll be going to as well. So it's going to be a busy year for me, and I'm going to be putting out videos. Like I said, on the Volvo, the build itself. Then we're going to do the audio upgrading. I'll probably paint it, probably just a one stage out here in the yard, even. It's going to be a cheap build, but it's still going to be nice. So the most expensive thing that's going to be on there is that I paid for is going to be that harness. And I would have went with a cheaper harness or built the harness, but we wanted to, we were on a tight schedule, so I wanted that to be not a non-issue.
Yep.
We're also going to airbag. I'm also going to airbag the Volvo this year, and I've got another set of wheels I'm going to put on it as well to bring in that 90s sleek look.
Yep. And we've got a group chat, so you've sent those pictures in there, and I think they're gonna look good on there.
Yeah, they're not 20s or 17s, anything spectacular, crazy, but it's a 5-star pattern. Very 90s looking pattern. In fact, it's off a Ford Windstar van.
Okay.
The wheels are. So it's going to be cool. I'll probably sand them down and paint them to kind of go with the car. I haven't decided yet for sure. I think the car colors are going to be gold and green.
Okay.
The green is the main color and gold is the accents. So I might do some of the wheels there. I might not. I might just clean them up and leave them like they are. I'm not sure yet. But
Gotcha.
We're going to do lots of things with it on the channel.
I think it'd be cool if you can get somebody to do kind of a rendering of what you have in mind of what it would look like when it's finished.
Yeah, that might be cool.
I don't know how you would do that or who you would reach out to, but I think that'd be kind of cool.
I don't know. I know, for going back to the No Name Nationals, speaking of renderings, I guess not really rendering, I need to get some files to you so that you can make some stuff with Cleatus trophies.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Need to
Now,
take a look
also,
at that.
I didn't even think about it. Instead of 2 stuff with Cleatus trophies, I'm going to do 1 stuff with Cleatus trophy, and then we could do what we're calling this group of people coming to build the Volvo. We're kind of under the name Trash Content Crew.
Okay.
And that stems from, I was joking around on the video, and I had this junk Ford Escape, and it's going to the scrapyard because the engine was out, transmission slipped, it was junk. So I cut the back of it off because the new Ford Mavericks are based on the new Ford Maverick truck is based on an Escape platform. So I cut the back off and I called it a Maverick, but I spelled it a little different so it'd be funny, or try to be funny. And somebody in the comments put, "No wonder you only have 1,000, right at 1,000 subs or whatever, because your content is trash." So we kind of went into that and we became the trash content crew, which we have a YouTube channel for that, but we don't really put anything on there anymore. We were going to just put shorts from everybody kind of on there. And we may put some more stuff on there, especially when we get together for the events and the build. That might be a great idea, but I may do a trash content crew trophy. We're also going to be doing a banner that we're going to have trash content crew with all the channels involved at No Name Nationals set up in a little area there.
Okay.
So,
very cool.
I don't know if you knew you were part of that now, but you are now part of that. So
nice. Yeah, I definitely
not to say you make trash content, but
I definitely have a note here of the No Name Nationals. So as I'm kind of planning out some events this year, I got to see what I can make and what I can't, and try to plan that out, because I don't think that's too far from me. It's definitely not any farther than coming to you, for sure.
No, it's about like coming to me, but about 4 hours shorter. So it's probably 6 to 7 hours for you, depending on where it is located from your house. But the reason I think you should go there, not only to meet up with the Volvo build again, that team, the trash content crew, but also because all the other, it's a automotive YouTuber event.
Yep.
That's why I'm pushing it so hard, because don't get me wrong, Hot Rod Power Tour, I don't know if you've ever done it, but it's awesome.
I haven't done it. Awesome. I've been to it.
Man, it is fun, but it's overcrowded for one thing, and it's not for YouTubers. I mean, YouTubers are there, but it's not for YouTubers. Same thing with Super Chevy or LS Fest and all. This is a YouTuber event for YouTubers, and I don't think there's another one out there. Even Cleatus in cars, which I'm sure you know who Cleatus McFarlane is, which, for everybody to know, I started my channel before him, so I didn't copy him. That's people say all the time, like, no, I didn't. But it's actually a military nickname that I had. Cleatus. It's not my real name either, but because I'm from Arkansas. Anyway, I think this is the only actual automotive YouTuber event that I know of, that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I haven't heard of anything. I know there was talks about a similar event last year, and I don't know if it ever happened or if this is still the same one that got pushed out from last year. But I know I heard of in our CarTuber Facebook group, there was talks about doing a group meetup kind of event, and maybe that one just,
I guess I'm not part of that group, where I didn't hear about it, because I sure would have hit the ground running with it.
Yeah,
because I think that's awesome. Not only is it YouTubers getting together, but it's automotive YouTubers or like-minded YouTubers getting together.
Yep. Yeah, and I think for this No Name Nationals, I could probably get the 240 there. I don't think it's too far. That nice. I think I'd be comfortable driving that out there.
Sure. Why not the BMW?
Dan might be able to drive that. I don't know. He's still working some bugs out on that.
Or the El Camino.
Yep. And Dan won't be coming with for the Volvo build because he has family in Arkansas that they're going to visit like 2 weeks later.
Oh no, okay.
So if we would have done it, if it would have landed like a week or two, one way or the other, he might have been able to make it. But so
sure.
I do have another buddy of mine I think is going to come, and he's going to help me record while we're working. So plus a 10-hour drive, I definitely don't really want to do that solo either. So having somebody tag along always makes the trip a little better.
Well, there's going to be other people that aren't YouTubers there, that are just friends, going to be there as well, that they're going to be helping out. There's going to be plenty of people building, but then there's going to be plenty of people recording, and that's kind of why we're doing the lives like we're doing them as well, because there's always going to be somebody recording. You know, multiple people most likely, but at least one person running cameras to record for people. So you may not cover the whole, and I don't think any channel is going to have the whole build front to back. They're going to be
No.
this part of the build, this part of the build. I mean, I'm sure they will encompass everything of this is where we started, this is what we ended up with, and this is how we got there. But as far as recording the whole build, I don't think anybody's going to be doing that. We have talked about putting a camera in the corner and just doing the whole build and then speeding it up, just like time lapse or whatever.
And that could be good for that other channel that you were talking about too.
Yeah, that'd be perfect for that. That channel, yeah, we really hadn't done anything with it. So I think it could be a good thing, but if it did hit and started taking off, I don't even know how we would split up money and stuff like that. Maybe we would just take the money from it, depending on how big it got, obviously. Just take the money from that and use that to pay for the builds, the meetups and all that.
Yeah. Plenty of options though, definitely.
Sure.
Cool. So those were the main things that I had to talk about. Is there anything else that you kind of wanted to put out there?
I try to support everybody. Obviously, I can't watch everybody's videos all the time because I still have stuff to do. But there are channels that I do try to push. Dudes with Wrenches, we're trying to get him pushed right now. I want him to be at No Name Nationals too, but he definitely has to hit 500 before then. I don't know if he's coming to No Name Nationals, but I want to give him that option. Bubba Ayers, huge supporter of the channel and this build coming up. He needs to get 500 so he can bring his supercharged square Chevy truck. That'll be fun. So he needs to come. Waste of Talent, I know he's trying to get to 1K. He's growing. It's pretty steady. It's nice. He's growing. I'm glad it's helping everybody out. Big Block 402, we got to get him to No Name Nationals. He needs 500 subscribers. He's going to be part of the build. Great channel. And 113 Cycles, going to be part of the build as well. Great channels. Going to be there for No Name Nationals. Needs to be at 500. And then we'll end it out on Mongrel's Garage. He's not coming to No Name Nationals probably because that's a pretty far drive for him. But, he's still trying to grow his channel as well. So hopefully this build will help everybody, let everybody get together, and be just a fun experience.
Yeah, and I definitely think it will be for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
We will get a list of all the channels that will be at this build. And here shortly, I think we'll get something that we can all share across all of our channels in general. And that way we can help support each other, and anybody listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube, definitely go check out these other channels, because that's the purpose of this build, is to collab with other channels and help everybody grow. Before we kick off, do you want to let everybody know where they can find you on your different social medias, and if there's anything coming up that you want them to know about other than a few things that we've already talked about?
Sure. My social media is pretty easy. It's Stuff with Cleatus on pretty much everything. I don't have TikTok anymore. I don't know if I'll ever get back on it, but Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, obviously. And then for merch, it's swcmerch.com. Pretty basic. You can get the LSX or the LSV. We're calling the build the LSV because LS Volvo, LSV. You get the LSV t-shirts there, and then also just Stuff with Cleatus shirts as well. The only thing I really have coming up, besides all the stuff we talked about, this Ford 1979 Ford truck, I'm about to start releasing all them videos. I think I have one video out on it so far. And now I'm going to kind of clean them up and get them out so everybody can follow that build.
Awesome. So I will put your merch link and your social media links in the description, so if anybody wants to check that stuff out. But appreciate you taking some time and coming on here with us.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the chance to come on.